at solving equations that need to be simplified using the distributive property and by combining like terms. We will look at the example 6 times the quantity x plus 2 minus 3x minus 7 equals 16. The goal of any equation is to isolate our variable or to get the variable alone on one side of the equation to determine its value. Remember, we need to look at each side of the equation first and determine if it can be simplified. The left side of this equation can be simplified. The first thing to look for when simplifying is to see if the distributive property can be used anywhere. In this example, we can use the distributive property to simplify 6 times the quantity x plus 2. Using the distributive property, we multiply 6 times x, which is 6x, and 6 times a positive 2, which is a positive 12. So, 6 times the quantity x plus 2 simplifies to 6x plus 12. Now we can bring the remainder of our equation down. We still see that the left side of the equation can be simplified further because there are like terms that can be combined. 6x and negative 3x are like terms, and 12 and negative 7 are like terms. Again, it's important to recognize the operation sign before the term to understand what the value of that term is. Combining 6x and negative 3x, we get 3x. Combining positive 12 and negative 7, we get positive 5. So, once simplified, we have 3x plus 5 equals 16. Again, the goal of any equation is to isolate our variable or to get it alone on one side of the equation to determine its value. We have yet to do that. Let's go ahead and get rid of plus 5. We will use the inverse operation, subtraction, and subtract 5 to undo the plus 5. What we do to one side of an equation, we must do to the other side as well. Let's simplify the left side of our equation. We know that the plus 5 and the minus 5 will cancel each other out, leaving us with 3x. Now simplifying the left side of the equation, we do 16 minus 5, which is 11. We have yet to isolate x, because x is being multiplied by 3. To undo multiplying by 3, we divide by 3. What we do to one side of an equation, we must do to the other side of the equation. Let's simplify the left side of the equation first. 3 divided by 3 will leave us with 1, so we will be left with 1x. We know that 1 times any number is that number, so 1 times x is x. Now simplifying the right side of the equation, we do 11 divided by 3. It's okay to work in fraction format, so remember a division problem, 11 divided by 3, is also a fraction, 11 thirds. So all we need to do now is simplify 11 thirds. This would be 3 2/3. If we had to go to decimal, at this point, we could see that 3 2/3 is 3.6 repeating, or 3.67 when rounded to the nearest hundredth. Remember, it's important to substitute our answer back into the equation to check our work. In this example, we will plug 3 2/3, or the decimal form, 3.67, back into our equation. Notice that we substituted it in for both x's, because there were 2 x's in our original equation. Following order of operations to simplify, we will do what's in parentheses first. 3.67 plus 2. This is 5.67. Then we will multiply 6 times 5.67, which is 34. Continuing to follow order of operations, we will do 3 times 3.67, which is 11. 34 minus 11 is 23, and 23 minus 7 is 16. So, our answer of 3 2/3 checks out.